You have probably been in a meeting where they just command the room, not with arrogance, but with this clarity and authority. And you've probably seen someone who also really struggles to get their point across or to get attention from the group. Well, the good news is that speaking like a leader is a skill that you can develop. And today I'm going to walk you through 5 essential habits that will help you communicate with confidence, with clarity, and with credibility every time. Welcome to The Modern Manager. I am Amy Canfer Stewart, and every week I share strategies and tips to help you be a rockstar manager with a thriving team. So now, let's get to it. Here are 5 strategies that can help you show up in meetings with that strong presence without alienating the rest of your team. So number 1, offer your reasoning and use data, not generalizations. Leaders don't just express their opinions, they justify them. So for example, instead of saying, "Oh, our customers don't like this feature," or "Everyone complains about this," a leader would say, "Customer feedback from our last survey shows that 65% of users find this feature frustrating, which is why I think we should change it." When you back your arguments with data and reasoning, you elevate the conversation from just emotional reactions and personal opinions to rational decision-making and critical thinking. Number 2, share your opinion with confidence, but stay open for change. This is what is called strong opinions loosely held. Great leaders don't have to hedge or downplay their perspectives, especially when they are grounded in data or experience. So instead of saying something like, "I think maybe we should consider trying this approach," a leader would say, "I believe this is the best approach because," and then they would back it up. However, you need to be extra intentional about not shutting down the conversation or stubbornly holding on to your ideas just because you had them first. If new data or new perspectives are compelling, explore them and be willing to adjust. Confidence and flexibility go hand in hand, which is what leads us to tip number 3. Invite other perspectives and show appreciation for them. A leader's job is not just to share their own perspective, but to really pull out and create space for others. This is especially true if you're going to speak your perspective with confidence. You need to be overly intentional about asking others for their ideas. So after sharing your own thoughts, you'd want to say something like, "I'd love to hear what others think, especially if you've got a different perspective." Or, "Well, I feel strongly, I'm not committed yet, and I would really like to know what others think." If someone speaks up, acknowledge their contribution, even if you disagree. And instead of shutting them down, say something like, "Oh, I see where you're coming from. That's a really important point. I'd like to know more." Or, "I wonder how we can incorporate that without losing the focus on whatever the main piece is." If your opinion is changed by their remarks, you would absolutely want to acknowledge that too. For example, you could say something like, "Oh, I'm so glad that you said that. That makes me rethink where I'm at. And I think maybe taking this other approach now makes more sense. What do you all think?" Or you might say something like, "I so appreciate you raising that concern. What might we do to mitigate that risk if we still want to pursue this approach?" Leaders who listen to their team members earn respect. And the more that you invite that input, the more engaged and motivated your team members will be to share it. Tip number 4, get the group aligned. Summarize and reflect back the key points. One of the biggest communication breakdowns I see in meetings happens when people walk away with different interpretations of what was discussed or what was agreed on. And as a leader, you can prevent this by summarizing the key points at the end of the conversation. Try saying something like, "Okay, just want a quick recap here. We've decided on X, Y, and Z, and our next steps are A and B. Does that sound right to everyone? Or what did I miss?" This simple step ensures alignment and prevents misunderstandings. It keeps things moving forward, especially when combined with this last strategy. Drive towards action. Be specific with your next steps. So many ideas get thrown out in meetings, but they don't all rise to that level of an actual task. And phrases like, "Oh, we should look into this," or "Someone should get the updated numbers from finance," or "Maybe we should send a follow-up tomorrow." Say things like, "Who will look into this and report back at our next meeting?" Or, "Maybe, do you think you could get those numbers from finance by Friday and then circulate them to the group?" Or, "Do you all agree that we should send the follow-up tomorrow? And if so, who wants to be on point for that?" Small shifts in language create so much more specificity, and that makes a huge difference in ensuring the right actions are taken. Speaking like a leader is not about being the loudest voice in the room. It's actually about being clear and thoughtful and intentional. And if you found this lesson helpful, I hope you'll share it with a fellow manager. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And while you're here, check out my latest video, or go to themodernmanager.com for more resources.